My dear friends, I invite you to ponder with me a most intriguing and profound subject: the signs that one might be a prophet. As we embark on this exploration, let us heed the words of the great Hebrew prophet Isaiah, who declared, "The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in a land of deep darkness, on them has light shone." Isaiah 9:2. For it is in the darkness of our world that the prophets of old and of today shine like beacons, guiding us towards the light of truth and redemption. As we consider the 5 signs that one might be a prophet, let us first acknowledge that prophecy is not merely a matter of predicting future events, but rather a call to speak truth to power, to challenge the status quo, and to proclaim the message of God's love and redemption to a world in need. The first sign that one might be a prophet is a deep sense of discontent with the world as it is. The prophet is one who sees the world through the eyes of God, and is therefore troubled by the injustices, the cruelties, and the absurdities that afflict humanity. Like the prophet Jeremiah, who lamented, "Oh, that my head were waters, and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people." Jeremiah 9:1. The prophet is one who feels the weight of the world's suffering, and is compelled to speak out against it. The second sign is a sense of being set apart, of being called to a unique and often unpopular vocation. The prophet is one who has been seized by a vision, a message, or a passion that cannot be ignored. Like the prophet Ezekiel, who was commanded by God to speak my words to them, whether they hear or refuse to hear. Ezekiel 2:7. The prophet is one who is willing to take risks, to challenge the powers that be, and to face ridicule, rejection, and even persecution for the sake of the message. The third sign is a deep sense of empathy and compassion for the marginalized, the oppressed, and the forgotten. The prophet is one who sees the world from the perspective of the poor, the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. Like the prophet Micah, who declared, "He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, and to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God." The prophet is one who is moved by the suffering of others, and is compelled to act on their behalf. The fourth sign is a willingness to confront the darkness within oneself. The prophet is one who has faced their own shadows, their own fears, and their own doubt. Like the prophet Isaiah, who confessed, "I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips." The prophet is one who has been transformed by the encounter with the divine, and is therefore able to speak with authenticity and authority. The fifth and final sign is a sense of being part of a larger story, a story that transcends the boundaries of time and space. The prophet is one who sees the world as a vast and intricate tapestry, woven from the threads of past, present, and future. Like the prophet Daniel, who declared, "The Lord gave me understanding in the vision, and I understood the vision, and I made it known to the king." The prophet is one who is aware of the cosmic dimensions of human existence, and is therefore able to speak with a sense of authority and purpose. As we reflect on these 5 signs, let us ask ourselves, are we being called to be prophets in our own time and place? Are we willing to speak truth to power, to challenge the status quo, and to proclaim the message of God's love and redemption to a world in need? If so, let us remember that prophecy is not a solo act, but rather a communal endeavor. Let us seek out others who share our passion, our vision, and our calm. Admit to justice and compassion, and together let us strive to create a world that is more just, more compassionate, and more reflective of the divine love that underlies all of existence. Deep discontent and vision are 2 interconnected qualities that often characterize a prophet. The prophet is one who sees the world as it is, with all its injustices, cruelties, and absurdities, and is deeply troubled by it. This sense of discontent is not a passing feeling, but a profound and enduring conviction that something is fundamentally wrong with the world. It is a sense of unease that cannot be shaken, a feeling of disquiet that haunts the prophet's every waking moment. This discontent is not just a negative emotion, but a catalyst for action. It is a call to arms, a summons to confront the powers that be, and to challenge the status quo. The prophet is one who is not content to simply accept the way things are, but is driven to imagine a different world, a world that is more just, more compassionate, and more reflective of the divine. This vision of a better world is not just a utopian dream, but a clear and compelling picture of what could be, if only humanity would choose to make it so. The prophet's vision is not just a product of their imagination, but a revelation of the divine. It is a glimpse of the way things ought to be, a glimpse of the kingdom of God. This vision is not just a private experience, but a public declaration, a message that must be shared with the world. The prophet is one who is compelled to speak out, to proclaim the message of hope and redemption, to call humanity to repentance and renewal. This sense of discontent and vision is not unique to prophets, but is a quality that can be found in anyone who is deeply committed to justice and compassion. It is a quality that can be cultivated through prayer, reflection, and action. It is a quality that can be nurtured through study, community, and solidarity. It is a quality that can be expressed through art, music, and literature. It is a quality that can be lived through simplicity, humility, and service. The prophet's discontent and vision are not just abstract concepts, but are rooted in the concrete realities of human experience. They are rooted in the struggles and sufferings of the poor, the marginalized, and the oppressed. They are rooted in the injustices and cruelties that are perpetrated against the most vulnerable members of society. They are rooted in the systems and structures that perpetuate inequality and suffering. The prophet's message is not just a critique of the existing order, but a call to imagine a different world. It is a call to envision a world that is more just, more compassionate, and more reflective of the divine. It is a call to dream of a world where the poor are lifted up, where the marginalized are included, and where the oppressed are set free. It is a call to work towards a world where every person has access to the resources and opportunities they need to thrive. The prophet's discontent and vision are not just a personal experience, but a communal call. They are a call to community, to solidarity, and to collective action. They are a call to work together, to support one another, and to advocate for justice and compassion. They are a call to build relationships, to foster dialogue, and to create partnerships. They are a call to recognize that we are all in this together, and that our individual struggles and sufferings are connected to the struggles and sufferings of others. In the end, the prophet's discontent and vision are not just a means to an end, but an end in themselves. They are a way of life, a way of being in the world. They are a way of living that is marked by hope, by faith, and by love. They are a way of living that is rooted in the conviction that a different world is possible, and that we can work together to make it a reality. They are a way of living that is inspired by the prophets of old, and that continues to inspire and challenge us today. Empathy and compassion are essential qualities that often define a prophet's character and mission. These traits allow prophets to connect deeply with the struggles and suffering of others, motivating them to speak and act for justice and transformation. At their core, empathy and compassion involve a profound understanding of the human experience, enabling prophets to resonate with the pains and hopes of those around them. Empathy is the ability to recognize and authentically share the feelings of others. It goes beyond mere sympathy, which may involve feeling pity for someone without truly understanding their situation. An empathetic individual seeks to comprehend another person's perspective, immersing themselves in their emotional landscape. This quality allows prophets to navigate the complexities of human emotions with sensitivity and insight. When faced with societal injustices, a prophet's empathy drives them to acknowledge the real anguish that individuals endure, whether it's the suffering of the oppressed, the pain of the marginalized, or the struggles of those facing discrimination. Compassion, on the other hand, takes empathy a step further. While empathy allows one to feel alongside another, compassion inspires action to alleviate that suffering. It is the emotional response that compels individuals to respond to the needs of others with kindness and support. For a prophet, compassion becomes a powerful driving force, urging them to advocate for the voiceless and to stand in solidarity with those who suffer. This combination of empathy and compassion forms the bedrock of a prophet's mission, motivating them to challenge the status quo and fight for a better world. The relationship between empathy, compassion, and prophetic action is profound. When prophets look at the world, they cannot help but see the myriad injustices perpetrated against vulnerable populations. Their empathy exposes them to the harsh realities of life for the marginalized, whether it be systemic poverty, discrimination, environmental degradation, or violence. This awareness breeds a sense of responsibility, compelling prophets to speak out and act on behalf of those who are often ignored or silenced. Moreover, the experience of empathy allows prophets to connect their own stories with the stories of others. Often prophets have encountered their own struggles or have witnessed suffering in their communities. These personal experiences foster a deeper understanding of pain, and as a result, they cultivate an authentic connection with those who are hurting. By sharing their own vulnerabilities, they create spaces for others to feel seen and heard, a powerful act of validation that strengthens the communal bond against injustice. One of the most significant aspects of empathy and compassion in the prophetic tradition is their transformative nature. When prophets embrace empathy, it reshapes their worldview, allowing them to view others as equals deserving of dignity and respect. This shift in perspective is critical in a world often characterized by division and polarization. The ability to see others' humanity can inspire collective action and foster a sense of community that transcends differences, whether they are cultural, religious, or socio-economic. Furthermore, a compassionate approach enables prophets to address problems from a place of love rather than judgment. They approach situations with an understanding that many individuals are trapped in cycles of poverty, addiction, or violence, not because they lack willpower or moral character, but because of systemic issues that limit their choices. This awareness encourages prophets to call for structural changes that address root causes rather than merely treating symptomatic issues. Ultimately, empathy and compassion fuel a prophet's journey, guiding their words and actions as they navigate the complicated landscape of social change. Their ability to empathize with others creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to engage in acts of kindness, inclusion, and advocacy. This transformative love fosters communities committed to standing in solidarity with one another, challenging systems of oppression, and envisioning a more just and equitable world for all. In conclusion, empathy and compassion are central to the prophetic calling, shaping how prophets connect with others and engage with the world. These qualities enable them to respond to suffering with understanding and actionable love. They are reminders that change can only occur when we begin to see the world through the eyes of others and strive to respond with genuine care and